Hey everyone, you are Tesla Tom, and thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel where I discuss Teslas, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. If this is your first time to the channel, hello and welcome. Please take a moment to hit that red subscribe button, and that way you stay informed of any new content, and it also helps my channel to grow as well. Today we're going to look at our latest electricity bill here in Sydney, Australia. We've got a Tesla Powerwall 2, so we're going to see how well that performed during the winter months here in Sydney. We're going to do that and much more right after this. Okay, so before we delve into this build, just a quick reminder of who we are. We are a family of 4 here in Sydney, Australia. We've got 8.4 kilowatts worth of solar on our roof. We've got a 13.5 kilowatt hour Tesla Powerwall 2 battery. We've got 2 Tesla electric vehicles, a Model S for myself and a Model 3 for my wife Joy. We've got a hot water heat pump system, and also we've got a pool which runs a pool pump during this period for 2 hours per day during the winter months. And according to the Australian Bureau of Meteorology website, the average temperature day to day was between 9 to 20 degrees Celsius in this 90-day period, with about 5.7 to 6 hours of sunshine per day in Sydney. Let's go through the bill right now. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm with AGL, one of the major electricity providers here in Sydney, and I'll tell you in a second why I'm still with AGL after all these years. Let's go through the bill right now. So let's have a look at this box here. How much energy are you using? So the bill period is between the 8th of May 2020 to the 5th of August 2020, which is a 90-day cycle. I'm pretty happy to see this graphic here. It says that our home used 1,419 kilowatt hours, which is much less than a one-person home, and certainly a lot less than a two-person household, considering that we are a four-person household here in Sydney. And the average daily cost was $4.72. We used 15.77 kilowatt hours per day. Unfortunately, more than last year at the same time, 8.95 kilowatt hours. I've got some theories as to why that's the case, and I'll go through that once I go through this bill. Have a look at this graph here. Average daily cost and usage. We as a family use heating and a lot more energy during the winter months, which is in Australia between sort of June, July, August. As you can see, it's much higher during this area here, whereas between spring, summer, and autumn, it's much lower during the warmer months of the year. So most of our energy use is during this time, and that's certainly reflected in the cost and usage. So have a look at this green square here, our bill overview. Balance brought forward $6.12. You might remember from my last bill review where there was an issue with why the energy company didn't discount us. I brought that up with AGL and they kindly refunded us our credit because I did pay on time from that last bill. We incurred $424.91 worth of new charges, which makes a subtotal of $418.79. We've got a nice discount here if we pay on time, $358.85. I think it's 22% discount if you pay on time, with a due date of 8th of October, which is not far away. Page 2 and 3. So this is where it gets very interesting, and we'll break it all down for you today. First of all, I'm on the electric car plan. I'll go through in a second why that is. Now this little box here indicates the different time of use segments for my plan, which is a time of use plan. So I get charged depending when I use electricity at different times of the day. This first meter here reflects the controlled load, which I don't really use much anymore. My hot water used to be on that meter, but now I've got it on the main circuit, and we use solar power to power the heat pump during the day. So essentially it's, well, not free, but it's I guess the cost of the feed-in tariff, whereas before I was paying a higher rate. So currently the meter for the controlled load is 0, which is great. These different segments represent the different time of use, and these numbers here in this column correlates down here, so I'll go through that in a second as well. You can actually, with your own meter, now we've got a digital smart meter, so all this data is fed, I guess, in real time, or at least they read it at the end of each cycle. So I'm fairly confident that these numbers are correct. If you haven't got a digital meter, I guess you can always go out and record your own readings day to day over a bill period, and then double check with your bill to make sure they're not ripping you off and they've actually got the right data. I did that for a cycle, I think, a couple of years ago to make sure that was all good, and I found that it was actually fairly accurate. So I'm pretty happy with these readings based on my previous research. I guess it doesn't hurt to do it every now and then to keep these guys honest. Let's go down to this bit here. How we worked out your bill. Previous balance $116.20. I paid $104.84. There was a discount of $17 odd, and they credited me, like I said, that $6.12 because there was a discrepancy on the last bill, which I called AGL up to make sure I did pay on time, which I did, so they put that credit on, so thank you very much, AGL. Okay, so this next section of the power bill is quite important, and we'll go through it slowly together. So like I said, I'm on a time of use plan, and we'll go through each period and what it means. So peak is between 2 and 8 p.m. on a weekday, and I'm charged 53.9 cents per kilowatt hour for this period. Off-peak is between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. every day, and that's 14.95 cents. And shoulder is every other time between peak and off-peak, and that's 22.95 cents. So people ask me, why do you have such an expensive peak period? Now we don't really use much electricity in this time, and the battery comes in handy for that. So I guess during the day when the sun's up, it'll charge the battery, and then during the peak period between 2 and 8 p.m., that's the most expensive time. That's when electricity companies put their peak period because people are home from work, from school, they do their cooking, cleaning, all that kind of thing. That's why it's expensive. For us, the Powerwall 2 actually covers most of our electricity use during this time. As you can see, only 24 kilowatt hours was used in the 90-day period, and that's very little. That's almost like a third of a kilowatt hour per day, and that's mostly to do with calibrating with the Powerwall 2. I won't go through all that now, but the Powerwall 2 does require that, especially across the three-phase system like ours. It sort of calibrates every time it's used, particularly if it's not on the same phase that the Powerwall 2 is on. It's to do with the net metering. Now, off-peak is, I guess, where we would use the most electricity, especially in winter, 1,071 kilowatt hours. A lot of that is to do with heating, and we do heat our rooms, my bedroom, our bedroom, and also the kids' bedrooms as well. And you can see reflected here, $160 was used in that 90-day period. The shoulder, which again, try not to use too much during that time. I guess on really cold days and there's no sun or less sun, and then that's when you would rack up some of those kilowatt hours. And you can see we use $74 worth of shoulder period, and controlled load. Like I said, we don't use the hot water system on the controlled load 2 anymore. It uses the solar power to run the heat pump during the day, so it's zero charge for that controlled load 2 period. And supply charge for a time of use plan is quite expensive compared to a standard meter. We pay 96 cents per day, and these are all pre-GST figures. So GST in Australia is 10%, so we add 10% onto the total cost. Now, I've stayed with this plan for as long as I have because of this reason. For this electric car charge, we pay $1 per day to be able to charge both electric vehicles, both Model 3 and Model S, and obviously it works out really economically. If each car can charge as much as it wants for 50 cents per day, then it's literally only $90 for this period. I've worked out in the past it would be a lot more. I think something like 5 times the price if we were to use the equivalent number of kilowatt hours to power our electric vehicles without this electric car plan. So that's why we're stuck with this for so long. Even though the feed-in tariff, as you can see down here, is actually quite low. In fact, I've just noticed this just now, that they've actually reduced the feed-in tariff from 10 cents to 9.5 cents. Unless some other people have got much higher AGL feed-in tariff, I think 20 cents some people have. And, certainly I've done the maths, and it's still cheaper to be on this electric car plan as opposed to not having it and then having a higher feed-in tariff. So that's why we've stuck with it for so long. This is probably the worst time for solar because, it's winter, there's less sun, so we've got only a $32 credit for 300 odd kilowatt hours for an 8 kilowatt system. Let's have a look at this page here. So if you add all that up, that's $383.32. And add GST to that, that's higher than 10% because it takes into account the deduction from the feed-in tariff. The total fee is $418, and you get a discount if you pay on time, $358. So $358.85. All right, so I want to show you this slide now. So this is a running tally of the last 4 power bills. So it equates to the last 12 months of electricity use for our household. So The winter bill that you just went through together with me is down here, $358.85 between May and August. Let's work backwards. The last video I did was February to May 2020, $104.84. Now the bill before that was during summer between November 2019 and February 2020, $25.03, and clearly that's the best bill of the fall because we get the most sun. We don't use heating, so yeah, it's a very good bill there. And then spring before that, August to November, $129.53, and certainly that's the pattern year on year. You know, the best bill is summer, the best after that is spring and autumn, and then the worst bill is winter. Now I want to show you this slide here. I'd like to compare how much I paid last year to how much I paid this time. So this bill was $358.85. This time last year, $225.80. Now I've got several theories as to why this is the case. So obviously we're all living through COVID at the moment. We are all at home more often, and our family is certainly no exception. We don't go on holidays anymore, we don't eat out as much, so obviously we're at home more often and we're using more electricity, and that certainly contributed to a higher bill. And the second reason also is that for our particular situation, I think our hot water has been broken for a few weeks during winter. We have been running out of hot water, particularly in the morning. Now I thought maybe because we were all taking longer showers, but I found out that one of the tempering valves of our heat pump system had actually broken down. We've had our Sandos heat pump for 7 years now, and the valve has actually lasted quite a long time. It's supposed to be changed after 5 years, but on the 7th year, it's finally had enough, and so we got the repair guy to come out and change the valve, and it's working fine again now. But I think it's been using more electricity than required, that normally would be required to heat the hot water because of that valve. So 2 reasons why our bill's been higher this year. The first one is that because COVID, we're home more often, and the second reason is because our hot water was actually broken during this bill. So that's the reason for the higher bill. And the last thing I want to show you guys before I go is this cool function on our Tesla app, which has only just come out with the recent update for the Tesla app, and also for the Powerwall version, which has gone up to 1.49.0 at the time of this post. If I go to performance, there's this thing now called solar offset, which actually tells you how much energy has been fed back to the grid, I guess, or how much more energy you're producing with your solar panels than has been required for your home. As you can see today, the top graphic shows that I've been pretty much 100% powered by renewable energy thanks to the sun and our battery. And if you look down here, we've offset our energy by 276%, which is very cool. And you can actually go, week to month to year. So over the week, again, all week this week, we've had so much sun. We've been powered 100% by renewable energy, and we've produced 275% than what our householders require, which is cool. We're helping our neighbors, we're helping our community, which is fantastic. And if you go to month as well, month may not be as good because we have been using some heating as well. So there you go, 83% earlier this month, thanks to heating, but still 162%, so more energy than we needed. Let's go to the year so far. I think this is a calendar year to date, so 2020, 71% so far, and that's been mainly the winter months as well. And so we've actually still produced more energy than has been required for our home, which is very cool. And then let's have a look at lifetime for my household. Since we've got the Powerwall 2 back in 2016, we've been powered 73% of the time by the renewable energy from the sun, which is very cool. And yeah, you can see that we've actually produced 106% of our household requirements by the sun, which is very cool. I think that this is a nice function. Alright guys, well that is a breakdown of our power bill with our Tesla Powerwall 2. Hope you enjoyed that video, just to give you a little rundown of how a typical household can function with solar and Powerwall 2 or a battery here in Sydney, Australia. Particularly in winter when it's cold and there's not much sun and we use a lot of heating, it still can be done. Alright guys, well thanks again. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, really appreciate that, and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already yet. And how did you go this winter? How was your power bill? Particularly if you've got a Powerwall 2 or even solar. I want to see how you guys went. Did you go into credit? Did you have to pay the power company? I'd love to hear from you, and please leave a comment below. Alright guys, thanks again, stay safe, and until next time, Happy charging.